everyone, welcome to today's video on advanced interactions in Power BI. So let's imagine this, you have already created some amazing reports in Power BI, but now you want to make them interactive. You want your audience to explore the data, dive deeper into insights, and really interact with the visuals in a meaningful way. Well, that's exactly what we are diving into today. In this video, we'll explore how to take your Power BI reports to the next level with advanced interactions. We're also going beyond the basics. We'll show you how to set up slicers, drill-throughs, cross-filtering, and many more. And by the end, you'll be able to build reports that allow users to interact, explore, and analyze data in a way that's intuitive and even engaging. So let's get started.
Welcome back to Simplilearn. Today, we are diving into exciting world of advanced interactive reports in Power BI. If you have ever wondered how to transform your static reports into dynamic, engaging reports, this video is for you. We will build a report focusing on advanced features like filters, drill-throughs, bookmark, dynamic tooltips, and KPIs. By the end, you will have a dashboard that not only looks amazing, but also tells a compelling story. Let's get started. When we talk about features like bookmarks and drill-through, this is a performance review report for the retail business unit that we have created in the previous video. First, let's add advanced slicers to filter data dynamically. As we have understood the difference between slicers and filters, first let's explore slicers. In the visualization panes here we have a slicer. First, we can click on the slicer here. Let's add region to the slicer field. Let's resize it to fit neatly on the left hand side. Currently, the slicer here has vertical list with the check boxes here. We can format it by using the format painter. Now observe here, when we click on East, entire dashboard filter out only to one selected region. We can also select multiple regions with Control and click. Clear the filter, we can clear the selections from here. Let's add another slicer with date. Let's drag and drop date to the slicer. Region here was a categorical value. Date here is a date type. As you can see clearly, when our data is date inside the slicer, we are getting a slider from the start date till the end date here. Let's explore the types of slicer here. To see the types of slicers, we click on Format Your Visual and we go to Slicer Setting. In Slicer Setting, the style of the filter is Slicer Settings. The style of the slicer is between the to date, then before the date, after the date. We can also find relative date. Relative date is if we want to go ahead and look for last, next, or this. It can be last month, last week, last year, or this month, next month, year. This is dynamic or relative filter based on your system date. Currently, then we have relative time. If you have date and time both, you can also use relative time filter, which is quite handy to do hourly analysis. Currently, we are going to keep at between. This is the date slicer. Let's add one more slicer. This time, we will see new slicer with the lightning bolt. When we click on new slicer, lightning bolt, let's add customer type. Customer type, we can see there are two cards inside one single slicer. To understand this, let's go to Format Your Visual. We open the slicer settings here. In new slicer settings only give us the option for selection. What kind of selection we are looking for. In the layout, we have the option to select the arrangement currently. As we can see, we have two cards only, two types of customers. Instead of keeping a grid, we can keep a single row. The single row, we have two types, we can keep two buttons only. The new slicer will always have the cards inside it. It will not give us the option like vertical list between here. So this is the customer type. These are the two cards inside the slicer. I was setting the layout here. Let's use the Format Painter. After Format Painter here, it is quite visible. Buttons are not getting formatted. To format the buttons here, these are the buttons, we have more options for formatting. The new slicer gives us option to make slicers interactive like we are using an online application and to make it interactive with the end user. For example, when you hover the cursor over the corporate button, it darkens with the color. When we click here, it gets a shade darker, and when we select it, it becomes black in color. It shows the interaction. It also makes it look like we are actually pressing a button. So interaction is enhanced. To define these type of interactions, to customize these interactions, we have multiple settings inside buttons. 4 stages. First one is default. What is the default without selection format setting? When we hover, how it should behave when someone hovers the cursor over the buttons. When we press the cursor, how the change should look like. And when any button is selected, how it should look like there. We are going to start with default. Default, the background is white. Border is fine. In the fill here, let's follow the color here. You can increase the transparency too. If you want, you can also add an image. Currently, we are filling the color. We do have the option for shadow and glow. Now, when we hover over it, see here, it is now changing the color. We are fine with that. If it is changing the color on hovering, this is what we were looking for. Now on press here, it is giving us the third color, which is not good. So we will go ahead and choose the color from similar family, and it will get a little bit darker. Here I will reduce the transparency too. Now hovering is lightening up the color. Pressing is making it a shade darker than before. On selection, it is turning black here. Now we select here the state selected, and instead of black here, we will simply give the same family color here. Now let's see here. Hover, press, leave. Hover, press, leave. It looks like the end user is interacting with the buttons. We do have the glow option. So when someone hovers over it, it glows like this. This is a new slicer with more enhanced interactive features. Let's add one more slicer. This time we will be using the simple slicer. And let's add discount in the slicer. Since discount is a number, we will see a slider again. This slider is giving us the option from 0.05 to 0.025 here, as in percentage. So let's check on discount here. Currently, discount is a decimal number. So let's convert this into percentage. Immediately we can see now it is 5%, 25% here. Let's format paint it. Here we are. This is the second slider that we have. Discount everyone. It is a series of numbers from 5% to 25%. We can see in the slicer settings, the options that we have available are between, less than equals to, greater than equals to, with drop down, individual numbers here, and the tiles option, similar to new slicer, and a vertical list too. Since it's a number, between slider looks much better. It gives us option to filter the entire page currently. For example, we want to see the performance report, the sales and profit, if we are giving the discount between 5 and 10%. So if we give the discount between 5 and 10%, this is the report. Now, if we give the discount on the higher part, let's say 20-25%, this is the report. Define the 20% here, type 0.2 here and press enter. These are slicers for date, categorical variable, and the new slicer too. When we have date and numbers, it gives us slider by default. When it's a categorical variable, it gives us the vertical list. And the new slicer will always give you the tiles. Once we've added the slicer, we do have other reports here. Report 2 and report 3. If we want to go ahead and reuse these slicers in the next reports, we can easily copy and paste. We're going to select the slicers here. We're going to select the slicers here, copy and paste them in the next report. We can certainly do so. When you will copy and paste with simple Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V, a dialog box appears. It says that, would you like to sync the visuals? It says that one or more copied visuals can stay in sync with the visual it was copied from. Power BI simply want to say that if you will change anything in report 1 by using these slicers, for example, if you select South in report 1, automatically report 2 will also convert every chart and filters every chart and card with that particular slicer. It will be syncing the slicers on both the reports. For this demonstration, we are going to sync the slicers. We won't see any difference right away. To understand the difference here, let's go ahead and create a table. I'm creating currently a simple table with category, and region. Let's see total profit and sales and the discount here. To the discount here, let's convert this to average. It's a small report. Let's also add the quarter to track the changes. Now let's apply the slicers. We are not going to apply the slicers here. We will go to the report 1 and apply the slicers here. Let's select the corporate type customer in North region. And let's say we are looking for the last quarter. So we have made the changes on the slicers. In report 1. We click on report 2. You will find automatically it is selecting North. We are towards the last 2 quarters here, quarter 3 and quarter 4, with only North region. Meaning for report 1 and 2, all the slicers are synced. If we don't want to sync the slicer, we can still copy and paste. However, then both the slicers will be independently filtering the connected pages and graphs. That was types of slicers. Let's move forward with other component of the dashboard, that is drill through and drill down. First, we'll go to drill through. Drill through here enables users to navigate from a summary report to a detailed view of a specific data point. So let's set up a drill through from report 1 to report 2. To add drill through, we need one bird eye summary report and another detailed report. In this performance review report, we can see analysis by region, category and customer type, year and quarter, and the state. To deep dive in the report 2, currently we have added a matrix. With the matrix here, we can add more detailed cards. For example, let's go through the cards here. These cards here are here to show the KPI metrics. Currently, in the KPI metrics, we have sales. In one card, we can add only one metric. So here, this is the sum of sales, as we can see. Let's format it here. However, the title font is too big. We can go ahead and change that here. This looks better. We can resize and place it accordingly. So this is our sum of sales. In a similar manner, if we want to show other metrics, we have to add same card and we can add only one number, one metric inside one card. If we don't want to do that, we have too many metrics to show. We do have an option of multi-row cards. Multi-row cards here can show multiple metrics within one single card. However, they will not be as presentable as a normal card. Normal cards, we have the ability to change the title. Here, we cannot change the title. We'll change the sum of discount into average. This is multi-row cards. Then we also have a new card here. Let's explore the new card. In this new card here, let's bring sales, profit, and units sold. As you can see right now, if we are adding numbers, we can also go ahead and add. It gives us simple tiles, exactly similar to the slicer we have seen before. Let's format. In formatting, first we have layout. In the layout, currently it is a single row. Let's convert this into a grid. In the grid here, we get to choose how many rows and columns do we need. Currently it is showing just one column, 5 columns and 3 rows. Now here, I am going to change the number of columns to 2 and maximum rows to 3. After layout here, we have option of callout values where we can decide the font here. I'm keeping the font as 24, quite visible. Let's decide this. Now we can format paint it. We can decide it to keep it at center. Decrease the font a little bit more. After the value settings, here we have the layout for vertical alignment. We have card settings here. These are the cards here. We can choose the shape of the cards. We can decide how far they are from the border, the alignment of the cards, and the background color of the cards too. Here we have the card settings. For this also we can use the format painter. Here we have got cards too. In general settings, under the effects, we will have the same background and border options here. Remember that these are for the back card visual, not for these buttons here. We can select the background color, increase the transparency. Looks much better now. You can also give a visual border with the increased rounded corners. Currently this is our new card. In this new card, currently we have added only numbers. Let's add a dimension or a categorical value like customer. When we add a categorical value like customer, let's say currently customer type selected one is retail. But if I click on corporate, it will remain corporate. However, if we clear out the slicer here, it will still get stuck at the first customer corporate, which is just quite misleading. Usually, adding dimensions inside the cards is avoided, unless you have a very good option to make it work. So inside this card, let's add the fourth metric that is left. That is our discount. Now we are going to have 4 cards here inside a grid. Sum of discount doesn't make sense. It should be average. We can go to the drop down and convert this to average of discount. So now we have KPI matrix available with us. We have got KPI matrix, everyone. With the KPI matrix here, now we have a detailed report. Now let's set up our drill through. I am going to click on report 1 in the back. And let's observe. In the report 1 here, below the visualizations, we have drill through cross report available here. When you hover over the cursor, over the cross report here, it gives you an information that it allow other reports to use this page as drill through destination. Meaning, we need to decide which will be our micro report and which is going to be our macro detailed report. Destination is the micro report. Currently, report 1 is from where we want to start, which should take us to the report 2. So this detailed report should be switched on for drill through here. To set up the drill through, there are a few pre-requirements. The pre-requirements are the report 1 is currently using category customer type, region as a categorical variable with the sum and profit. In the page 1, we also have a state and year and quarter used. These measures and dimensions should be used in report 2 also. If we go now to activate the drill through, we simply switch on the cross report and report 2. Switching it on, we need to add the drill through fields here, which means that which chart will have the ability to give us the drill through option and to filter out the report 2 on the basis of that. To add this here, let's go ahead and add region, sales, profit, and category. We are dragging and dropping. We have added category, profit, region, and sales. So we've added all the 4 here. You'll find that these looks like filter cards. And also give us the message that it is going to allow the drill through when it will be used as a category. Sales and profit and numbers. So when they will be summarized in any report, they will use this report too as the destination report. After adding this here, observe everyone. On the left and upper corner of your screen, a button will be added. This button will help us to navigate from one report to next. Let's see a review. First, let's bring the button where we can see it here. Let's click on report 1. In report 1, there seems to be no change. Let's find out by example going to top 5 state by sales. Sales is getting summarized here. So if we go to the chart here and we right click, we select, for example, Scotland, and we right click here. It allows us the drill through to report 2, meaning we will be looking at the entire report only for Scotland. Let's click on report 2 in drill through and see. Now we are looking at the filtered down report only for Scotland. What are the information available to us right now? In Scotland, we have done our sales starting from 25th January and the last order was at 2nd February. We have given the discount from 6% to 25%, immediate insights everyone. Plus, we have given total sales of nearly 50K. This is the average discount and the total units sold. We can also see the KPI cards in the new card matrix too. And what we were able to sell out? We were able to sell clothing, electronics, furniture, and groceries there. We have the detailed report within deep dive for one single state. To go back here, since we are in developing mode, we will be control and clicking here to go back. We'll go back to a normal report. Let's try more deep dive. Let's click on retail here. Now this report and the second report, since these things slicers are synced, both are showing us retail customers. In the retail customer type, the highest sales we have seen in the electronics here. So let's right click on the electronics and drill through everyone to report 2. So here we can see customer type is automatically retail. The first order was near 11th January and the last order was in October here. Similarly, we have given the discount in the range of 8 and 25%. On an average, it is 16.5%. Here we have the category only electronics. This drill through will help us in deep dive and navigation from the macro report to the detailed in-depth analysis. Thus, to navigate from a macro summary report to a detailed in-depth view for a specific data point and KPIs. Talking about navigation here, bookmarks are a fantastic way to create dynamic navigation. With the bookmarks, we can set up a before and after view. We can set up a navigation with the help of buttons or with the help of bookmark navigation buttons too. So let's explore how bookmarks and navigation work hand in hand. Let's take an example for bookmark. To understand the bookmark better, let's go to the View tab. In the View tab, we have Filters pane here, then Bookmark and Selection. To understand the bookmark better, let's click on Bookmark pane. And Bookmark pane has to be opened up with the Selection pane. Why? Selection pane will tell us the list of the objects that are present in this particular page. And what is a bookmark? A bookmark here will help us to create multiple views within one single page. In real time, bookmarks are used used in a book where we go ahead and we place the bookmark on a certain page number so that when we come back, we can go ahead and simply go to that bookmark and restart exactly from that page. In a similar manner, in each page, we can set up multiple bookmarks and each bookmark will give us a separate view of one simple report. For example, let's create a simple bookmark here. So currently we have these objects and the slicers here. Let's say we want to see the sales report first and then we want to see the profit report. So let's create some space here. A profit report, everyone. Now this particular chart should appear later. We want all these 3 charts first. And later we want the sum of profit by region to appear. So we want 2 views. One view is entirely for the sales. And the second view where we have the detail for profit is also added here. Let's set up a bookmark. To set up the bookmark here, our objective is absolutely clear. In one view, we want to see all the 3 charts, but not the second one, not the profit one. In another view, we would like to see all the charts together. We'll use the selection pane here to select and hide the object. As we can see in this selection pane, we have the show and hide option here. For example, we want to go ahead and the profit chart. So I'm selecting the profit chart here. The moment we select the profit chart here, observe here, sum of sales is automatically highlighted in the selection pane. Now we can hide it here. Click on hide this visual. That's hidden. And don't worry, it is just in this view here. Once you have hidden this here, we will go ahead and click on Add. As soon as you click on Add, this bookmark 1 do not have profit visual, only sales here. So we can go to the 3 dots here or epsilon and we click on rename. I'm going to name this as sales report, so we know only sales visuals are there. Next, we need all the visuals at one place. So let's unhide this visual here and add bookmarks here. We go to the 3 dot. We rename this to sales and profit. We have these 2 bookmarks. Let's click on sales report. It is gone. Sales and profit, it's here. Now, these bookmarks can be used to make multiple views out of one single report. In a similar manner, we can use these bookmarks to switch between different type of charts within one single page too. Let's go to a new page for demonstration of bookmarks. First, let's create 2 visualizations. First visual, we are creating a simple stacked bar chart. For category and sales. A simple bar chart, everyone, for category and sales. I'm keeping it right here. Next here, let's create a line chart between profit and our date hierarchy. Date hierarchy, we don't want to see day-wise here, and year and quarter together. We are good with this. This entire profit trend is for all the regions. We will scroll down under the visualization and we drag and drop region into small multiples. Now we can see the trend for individual region here. We do have the option to add legend here. The legend, we can add customer type. Now we can see trend of profit for each customer type. Let's format them. First formatting, we change the color of the line here. To series, we select corporate right now. And I'm going to change the color for corporate. Then we select retail series. I'm going to change the color of retail to the red family for now. Changing the colors, we have the option to switch on the markers. So here we have a very clear view of all the trends for the profit. Give a quick format for the background too. So here we have our 2 charts ready. Both the this here is for sales and this here is for profit. Now we want to switch between sales view and the profit view. So either we want to see the sales analysis or we want to see the profit analysis. So let's place these charts here first and let's enhance the bar chart here. In the bar chart here too, we will scroll down. In the small multiples, we add region. In legend here, we add customer type. So the same color. We will go to the bars. In the bars, we select corporate. Corporate is blue in color. Then we select retail, which we have kept red family color. Be consistent in the colors, everyone. And now here we have sum of sales by category and customer type. And here we have profit by month and year. Now we want to switch from sales report to profit report here. To do that, we are going to utilize bookmark. Expand bookmarks and selection pane. Observe that we are in the report 3. However, we can clearly see previous bookmarks too. To complete the report, I'm going to copy the slicer region into the report 3. When I paste the region here, it will ask us, would you like to sync the visuals? This time, we will not sync the visuals. Plus, we will change our report slicer from vertical list to a tile. Once we have the slicer, now let's create a bookmark. Create a bookmark here. First is the sales bookmark, another will be the profit bookmark. So first, we are going to hide sum of profit, that is the line chart. We add the bookmark, we rename it, and we will say this is the sales. Next, we view the sale and hide, and we click on add, and then we rename again to profit. Now we can easily switch from sales to profit here. Yes, however, we don't want to see it like this. The end user should have the immediate option to switch between these within their canvas. If we are looking for that, we have two options. One is to add the buttons. Another is to add the bookmark navigation. So let's see the newly added bookmark navigation button. In the home tab, we have view tab. To add the bookmark navigation, we go to insert. On the right hand side, we have got buttons. And here we have navigator. In the navigator, one navigator here is bookmark. When you click on bookmark navigator, on the left and upper corner, we can see the list of all the bookmarks at one place. However, we don't need all the bookmarks here. We need only sales and profit. If we go to the format navigator, here we have the option for bookmarks. By default, it is going to select all the bookmarks here. We go to the drop down, it doesn't give the option to select the which bookmark we need. So let's see how we can make sure that we can only see sales and profit. Go back to the bookmarks pane. We will control and select sales and profit. Control and select sales and profit. Say both are selected. Now go to profit and right click. When you right click, you will have the option of group. Let's group them together. It says group 1. Let's rename the group 1 to report 3. So you will remember that this is the report 3 group. After rename, we go back to format navigator, and to view all the bookmarks, to view the selection between the bookmark and the group, we have to add or refresh the report again. So I'm going to delete this here. Let's remove it and then go to buttons again, navigator, and click on bookmark navigator. Still, all the 4 are here. Now we go to format navigator and bookmarks. When we go to the drop down here, we have the option right now to select. Go ahead and select report 3 group and see now we have sales and profit. Now with control, click on sales. It is sales. We click on profit. It is profit. To make the buttons look better, now we have options for formatting the style of the buttons. These 4 styles will remain with default hover present selected, similar to slicer. However, we will have more options here. Here we can also change the font styles too. I will give you a quick style setup to make it look like the buttons are interactive. First, the default style is the white filled text. Let's change the text to a slighter bold font. After the text here, we'll go to the fill color, which is going to match one shade lighter than the background. The border here will look same. Right now, we are not giving any shadow or a glow. This is the default view. We can see that in the profit. Now, when we hover over it, it turns white. We go to the hover here and we'll ask it to make it one shade darker. And in the text, we'll ask it to increase the font by 1. Now see, it looks like we are hovering over it here, a small change. After hover, we have press. Currently, when we press, it looks like we are pressing it here. In the text here, it will remain same. To the fill here, it gives one darker shade. So when it is default, we hover and we press. Now the selected view is black. We change the selected view right now. Back to the darker shade here. Plus, we increase the font size with the bold font. See the entire process? This is hover, press, and select. Hover, press, and select. So now our bookmark navigator is working. However, our report looks like we are jumping from one page to other. Now we don't want end user to know that. So we are going to make sure that both of them are at the center. Both of them are at the center here. When I go to profit, go ahead and set the profit here too. Now let's check this sales, this is profit. Looks like we are changing the entire dashboard with the help of a few buttons. You can change the entire dashboard from sales to profit. You don't need to create two separate pages for that. Bookmark can also help you to switch between just one single chart within the entire report. This is how we can use a bookmark for navigation. Bookmark has major uses. We will explore the bookmark in an entirely separate video dedicated only for that. Now, let's go to the next option to make dynamic report. That is dynamic tooltip. Dynamic tooltips let users see additional insights when they hover over visuals. So what is a tooltip, everyone? When we go to a certain report and we hover over any chart, whether it's a bar chart or a tree map, a white colored dialog box opens up. This is called a tooltip. So currently the tooltip is saying estate and the sum of sales. We go here to the tree map. It is giving us more options here. So let's go ahead and see how we can go ahead and give a dynamic tooltip. To do that, first let's add a new page. In this new page, first we have set this page as a tooltip. Whatever we create on this page, it can be used as a tooltip. We'll go to Format Your Report page. And here we have Canvas settings. And Canvas settings, the default is 16:9 slide. We will go to the drop down and here we have the option of tooltip. The height and width is here. Now here we have a tooltip. We can see that the canvas is quite small. We can click on plus to zoom in. Now here we can design a tooltip. When we say design a tooltip here, so for example, if I go to this report here and hover over, we should be looking at a deep dive analysis within the Scotland. So right now we can see top 5 estates by sales. If I hover over the Scotland, I want to go ahead and see more details about it. So for example, in the page 1 here, I will open up the data pane right now. And let's say we want to see that how much profit we have gained in that country. Plus, we'll also add category for the details. Now, it has automatically chosen a type of a chart. Let's go ahead and convert this into a stacked bar chart. Easy to read the names here. We can go to here and switch on the data labels. For a tooltip, the name is quite huge. So I'm going to go to general right now and switch off the title altogether. We can see category and country and sum of profit. We don't need the, now here, let's format. We don't need to see country. We know these are the country names, but we do need the name of sum of profit, but we don't need the numbers here. And the numbers are indicating what kind of category it is. So we do not need this title here. So let's format. In the formatting here, in the first formatting, we go to y-axis. In the y-axis here, we need the values, but we don't need the title. In the x-axis here, we need the title, but not the values. Then we have legend. The legend, however, we don't need the title. We can see all the four are here. Plus, since it's a tooltip, we will decrease the font size here. So this is a small bar chart, everyone. First, let's explore edit interactions with filter and highlight. Once we have a dashboard like this, we would like one chart act as a filter or highlight, or simply do not interact with it. As you can see on the right hand upper corner, right here, there is an edit interaction button. You can set the interaction for individual chart and how it interacts with other charts here. Also observe, on top of each chart, there are two types of interactions. Either filter, highlight, or do not interact. We can find the setting interaction feature within Power BI to gain more detailed insight within the dashboard. Filter simply filters the bar charts or the line chart or the map chart here or a simple table. Highlight simply highlight that particular bar or part of a bar or part of a line where these edit interactions are usually set by default. However, we might need to change it as per our requirement. So let's see how to do that. Now, let's look at the steps to edit the interaction. First, we have to select the chart which we intend to use as filter or highlight. Then, we click on Format tab. In the Format tab here, on the left and upper corner, you will find Edit Interaction under the Visual Tools. Once the interaction mode is on, we have to first select the chart, and then we can select whether we want other chart to get filtered by the selection or to highlight, or we do not want it to interact. This interaction mode will be also available even for the cards that we add. We can add this interaction for the slicers too, not only charts, also the slicers. After edit interactions, which is a basic interaction available in Power BI reports. Next is bookmarks in Power BI. Bookmarks are a very useful feature within Power BI. They help us to save multiple views of one single report. How do we use the bookmarks here? Bookmarks allow us to create multiple views of a report page, like including filters, slicers, multiple visuals, hide and unhide. So one single page inside the Power BI can be converted into multiple views. And those multiple views either can be navigated like a slide or a picture to represent different perspectives or states of the report. Now, how do we apply bookmarks? First, we need to go ahead and switch on the bookmark and the selection pane. So we need to go to View tab and we have to click on the bookmarks pane and the selection pane to activate. Once we are there, and on the right hand side, we can see the bookmarks and the selection pane. We can go ahead, create our selections and add to create a bookmark. So for example, if we have a slider, for example, if we have a hierarchy to choose, we'll choose a hierarchy. When the hierarchy is freezed on our screen, we can go ahead on the right hand side and simply click on add a bookmark and name the bookmark. In a similar manner, if we have an entire dashboard, we want to spotlight one of the charts there, go ahead, select the spotlight and freeze that screen with the bookmark. Like this, you can also apply, for example, a country filter. So let's say you apply the filter for India and the entire data, currently the entire dashboard screen or your report screen is showing all the data that is related to India. Now, you can save or add that as a bookmark. Now we can switch between two views. First is the global sales and then sales within India. So we don't have to create multiple page reports here. By simply adding the bookmarks, we can go ahead and create multiple views and navigate through the bookmarks too. Let's go to the Power BI and see some examples. So since we have created multiple bookmarks, now we would like to navigate those views. This is very easy. There is two types of navigations, page navigation and bookmark navigations. In the new updates last year, now we don't need multiple shapes to be added, set the bookmarks, or we don't need buttons there. However, we can utilize that here too. To activate the navigation or use the direct navigation available here, we have to go to buttons drop down. So let's see these steps here. If we want to add, once we have created the views, if we want to add buttons, we have to first click on a chart. Once you click on a chart, format and data drill option opens up. Go to the format tab. In the format tab, we are going to find buttons. Once you find the buttons there in the drop down, go to the last section and you are going to find navigation. In that navigation, go ahead and select Bookmark Navigation. Once you select the Bookmark Navigation, you will see the list of all the bookmarks and the views you have created on multiple pages. Now you can go ahead and navigate. Let's see the example in Power BI. Currently, we have seen we can directly activate the bookmark. There is an entire strip of the buttons. We can click and navigate to whichever view we want. However, we can also choose to switch between only 2 or 3 bookmarks, not all the bookmarks there. For that, we can use button and images too. Meaning, we'll go ahead, we create a button or a shape and we assign a bookmark to that. For example here, once we have opened the bookmarks and the selection pane here, we can link the bookmarks to certain chart or to a certain image or a shape. It creates an intuitive and a very easy visual user interface. These steps will involve, we insert a button or an image from the Insert tab. We select the button and we go to Visualizations pane. In the Visualization panes, under the action, we choose the bookmark and the action type. Action type will be the page of the bookmark. We can use this to switch between 2 charts within the entire dashboard. You can also choose this to simply switch between 2 entirely different views of a simple page report. Once we go ahead and select the bookmark we want to associate with that button or image, we have to do that for multiple charts together if we want to switch between the 2 views. For each view, we apply 2 different images. Once the images are done, we customize the button and image style for better user experience and to set the theme of the page. And if we want to go ahead and hide and unhide them, accordingly, we will place them maybe overlap with each other or maybe at 2 different places as per the requirement. And once the bookmarks are analyzed, we can simply click on that image, control and click, and we can switch. In the developer or the designing mode, once it reaches to the user, the end user will have to simply click and it will switch the charts. Let's see an example in Power BI. Next, we'll see working with parameters. Now, parameters are far more different than the interactions and the bookmarks we have seen so far. Parameters are simply one step ahead of filters. Let's understand what parameters are. Parameters are found in every BI tool. Parameters in every BI tool allows us to dynamically change the charts and the visual based on the user input. Usually, parameters are just the range of values passed from the outside by the end user. For example, we have a chart where we have sales versus countries. Now, we can give an option to the end user where they can simply change the x-axis entirely. They can change the country to category, from segment, from states, city. They will keep on changing the dimensions and the chart will automatically update as per that dimension. We can also give them access to change the y-axis. Maybe they want to see country by sales, profit, total quantity, total number of orders, and likewise. So if you want to go ahead and change the dimensions, maybe we want to go ahead and change the filter. For example, we want to see we usually go ahead and tell them these are the top 5 customers or vendors we are working with. We can also go ahead and give them the access that, okay, you go ahead and see whatever top n numbers you want to see, meaning they will have the option to change the filter value to 3, 5, 10, 20, whatever they want to see. And that's parameters. That will change the data display based on any categories or numerical range they are selecting. There are multiple use cases for the parameters. There are 2 types of parameters here. First is numerical parameter, other is field parameter. As you can see in the example here for the numerical parameter, we have given a discount slab and a slider. So we can simply click on new parameter there. We can select a what if parameter or a numerical parameter. We can give a simple number here. Once we create a slicer linked to the parameter and it is always created, there is a simple checkbox there. Now, further, we can use text measures to incorporate into the measures, into the filters as we apply. And these measures give the end user the flexibility to input the values within the calculation or within the filter or within the X or Y axis to change and view the reports. In the field-based parameter, we can go ahead and change the X and Y axis. Field parameters are very easy. We will simply go ahead, add the parameters there. And as we discussed, we can simply change product category, region, country, or segment. We can also go ahead and change sales and profit. These text parameters are written automatically there. When you are creating the parameter, at the back end, it is simply writing a text. And we can utilize that particular parameter in multiple calculations too. Now, let's go ahead to Power BI and see how parameters work. This page we are going to use as Tooltip. I'm going to name this as Tooltip 1. And we will utilize this particular page as a tooltip for other charts and the reports. To create this as a tooltip, first thing that we do is we go here to the right hand side, format your report page. We go to the canvas settings here. In the canvas settings, we will go to the drop down and select the tooltip. Now, as you can see here, the dotted lines here are showing us the true size of the tooltip. Vertical alignment will remain at top. We can also keep it at the middle. I prefer it here. Inside this, we can add cards, visualization, or simple tables. Use it as a simple canvas. However, the size will be different. Now inside this here, we go back to build visual and let's add the new cards here. In the new cards, let's add our sales. We have our profit, discount, and the units sold. These are the 4 cards here. As you can see, all the 4 cards are simply added one beside the other in a vertical manner. We can go to the formatting here. We do have the option of layout. We can ask it to arrange in a grid. How many rows we are looking for? So we can increase the rows by 2. How many columns we are looking for? So we can reduce that to 2. Now we have a grid. After creating the grid here, we don't need to see the overflow. We have just 4 cards here. We open the callout values. In the callout values, as we can see, font size are too big. We will stick to our font here. We will reduce the font to 12. As you can see, this is the values font. So the value is smaller here. We do have the option. We can align it at the center too. Once the values are done, we are at the label, everyone. In the label here, we can decide what kind of labels we are looking for. We can also reduce the font size here and make sure we are selecting the font size here. Font style and font size. When the size is selected, we will keep the layout at the middle. Then let's go to cards. In the cards here, we have multiple shapes. Let's go ahead and change the shapes here. We have the snipped shape here. We can change the shape. We can change the shape too by simply deciding here. The padding simply means the difference when the space between 4 cards here. We can keep it narrow, make sure the alignment remains at center. Within the cards here, we can decide the background color. Please utilize your organization colors for that too. You can also add the images at the back. So this is here. We have multiple borders. You can decide for the border colors here. So there is multiple options here for formatting. Once the cards are selected and created, now we can utilize this as a tooltip on other charts. So let's see how do we add this as a tooltip. If I go to report 1 here, in this report 1, this is a simple column chart here. So let's look into this column chart. The tooltip that we have currently is simply saying region is west, sum of sales is that. And we can easily see that within the chart too. So let's add a better tooltip. To add a better tooltip here, first select the chart here. We will go to the format your visual. Under the visual settings here, and we have general settings. In general settings, go to Tooltips. In Tooltips, we have the option that what you are looking for. Are you looking for a report page or the default one here? You can see we are looking for a report page. And once you go to the drop down here, you will automatically find Tooltip 1 cards in the drop down. Once you select this here, Tooltip 1 cards, when we hover the cursor over here, you can see the card appearing right there. And the number will keep on changing as per the selection. When we see it like that, the size is too big as we see in the column here, we can go ahead and customize it too. As you can see here, we have multiple options for the tooltip. If we have something typed there, we can go to the tooltip 1 card here. It looks smaller here. However, we click outside. We go to the format page and canvas settings here. In canvas settings here, within this tooltip, we can customize it too. So when you go to tooltip, you can see height is 240 and width is 320, right? And we want it to make it smaller, so we can go to custom here. First thing that we do here is we make it smaller, like this, right? So for example, if we're keeping it smaller within this custom tooltip, let's see, I'm going to keep it here smaller. Does that make it smaller in the report? Let's see. It doesn't. It still leaves the white space. So we go ahead to custom, page navigation, and the canvas settings. We will go to custom. In custom here, let's reduce this size, height 200, and width here to 250. And you can see now this looks much better. Now we can see the report one. You will see the size will be immediately copied. Now likewise, you can decide on the size of the tooltip cards here. We can have another type of tooltip cards where we have multiple visuals added here. These visuals should be added again within the canvas of the tooltip. Now when we go to build visuals here, so for example, waterfall chart. So let's add a waterfall chart here. We'll add this waterfall chart within the quarter and the profit. You can easily see it here. This is sum of profit by quarter. We can go to the settings here. First, switch on the labels. Now on the y-axis here, let's switch off the values. We don't need the values here. Once we have this here, we neither need the title. This is cleaner. Now we can go to general. We have the title here. Let's reduce the title by 9. Font size will be 9. Let's select our font style 2. This is simply profit by quarter. Now, above this here, we can also add a donut chart. Don't worry about the alignment and the size here. First, we are going to add this here. There we go. Now let's create a donut chart between customer type and the sales. Since it's a donut chart, we will simply present only the percentages and nothing else. So we go to the settings again. First is we have to keep the legend. We have to tell them what type of customers are. Or we can simply add it into the details label here. In the detail label, we can say that simply go ahead and tell us category and percentage. We will go to the slices and let's change the color here. That's retail and corporate. Same here, we have to go to general and we can edit the title right here. This is sales by customer type. It's a small tooltip. If you want, you can color the background too, or you can make the background purely transparent. So it can simply refer to the backend. These kind of reports, which is detailed there, right? These kind of tooltip can be applied to several other reports. So for example, this is our country, sales and profit here, the bookmark that we have added, right? So for this here, let's add a bookmark. For this, let's add the tooltip. To add the tooltip here, we go to general again, we go to tooltips. And now in the report page, just observe here, currently the tooltip has multiple text here, that is the automatic tooltip. Now we have tooltip card for visuals. Once we activate that, automatically you can see the entire chart right now is getting filtered out with the help of the dimensions and the category and region too. Similarly, if we click on profit here, we have another chart, right? So we select on this chart too, and we select our tooltip visual, and this is a line chart for individual quarter and the year, and you will see changing here too. It's a quite a fantastic visual here. You can always go ahead and color the background similar. This is all about the interactions here. Let's have a quick recap. We started with a simple report. We have edited the interactions here. We have also added the interaction with the slicer and multiple sliders. We have explored in the new lightning bolt slicers and new slicers and the old slicers here with the help of edit interaction too. Then we moved forward and we have understood about date slicers, cards, and multi-row cards too. In the third report here, now we have seen bookmarks. In the bookmarks here, we have understand that we can navigate through in the bookmarks with sales and profit likewise. Then we have seen how to add the tooltip cards here. So right now, this is the report that we have created before, and we have explored multiple different types of visualizations with the interactions too. Thank you. I will see you again with the DAX and the parameters. Thank you.
That's a wrap on this tutorial. If you have any doubts or question, ask them in the comment section below. Our team of experts will reply you as soon as possible. Thank you and keep learning with Simplilearn.
Staying ahead in your career requires continuous learning and upskilling. Whether you're a student aiming to learn today's top skills or a working professional looking to advance your career, we've got you covered. Explore our impressive catalog of certification programs in cutting-edge domains, including data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, or digital marketing. Designed in collaboration with leading universities and top corporations, and delivered by industry experts, choose any of our programs and set yourself on the path to career success. Click the link in the description to know more.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.